Hello and welcome to Trendz, ushered in by the guitar maestro, that is Bab Louis Mhlanga. Thank you so very much. He'll be performing at a festival I'll let you know about shortly. My name, of course, is Refilwe Moiloa, and my highlight for the week, undoubtedly the 74th Golden Globe Awards, from the red carpet magic to winners like Tracee Ellis Ross, Viola Davis, and of course Meryl Streep for her Lifetime Achievement Award, amongst other things. Okay, so let's get into things back on home soil. Now, last weekend, 14 other horses tried to dethrone the champion of the Lombarans Queen's Plate. Now, the thoroughbred clinched the title, though, for the second time since last year in 2016. Now, the prestigious horse racing event drew equestrians and fashionistas in their numbers to the Kenilworth Racecourse in Cape Town. Have a look.
And step around the heart of it, New York, New York. I wanna wake up in a city that doesn't sleep, to find I'm king of the hill, top of the leaves, my little town knows.
It's one of the most prestigious horse racing events in the country. The race was first run in 1861, a silver plate donated by Queen Victoria, the coveted prize. This year's 1600-meter contest had an increased stake of 1.5 million rand. Off the track, fashionistas and celebrities embraced the traditional blue and white theme, with no effort spared for those who entered the best-dressed competition. Timeless elegance combined with sophisticated glamour had three winners at the end of the day.
The day's been fantastic so far. The weather's been great and everyone here looks great. My dress is Ted Baker. I bought it in London. And my hat is Philip Tracy. I never thought I would ever win this, so it's a fantastic honour and it's a great opportunity, and thank you to the Ruperts for hosting such a great event.
My ensemble is it's inspired by the Gatsby. I think, New York gangsters, the cigar, the double-breasted. I really want to do something different, teach the men in South Africa how to dress. So this is it. It's Loro Piana fabric. It's Italian. It's in collaboration with Button Brothers, the Australian. It's an Australian brand. So yeah, that's my ensemble.
First time I won in 2010, and now again. So it's been an absolute pleasure and an honour to win again. It's always a pleasure to come. It's a day full of fun, reuniting with friends and just enjoying fashion, nice food, nice wine, nice company.
The Lombarans Queen's Plate is now in its 156th year, but this was the inaugural two-day festival in Cape Town. A host of celebrities were in attendance, some expanding on the theme of the day.
Queen's Plate, I have to be honest, I come to the Queen's Plate, I don't see one single horse. It's all about seeing great, beautiful people. I don't know much about the horses, because where are the horses, eh?
What really excites me is how people have kept it very simple and also played with the theme, and how each person has interpreted it in their own way. I would say in a very relaxed mode. Yes, you may see one or two people that just didn't get it. I don't get it when people get an evening dress to a horse racing like this. But 90% of the people that got it right, chilled, beautiful ladies with lace dresses. It's really nice.
The Lombarans Queen's Plate precedes yet another prestigious racing event, the Met, which is due to take place at Kenilworth at the end of the month.
Looks like it was absolutely amazing. So now I'm about to talk about the 9th annual Johannesburg International Mozart Festival. It kicks off on the 21st of January until February the 5th. Now, this year's festival is themed That's All, Folks, and it promises an explosion of beautiful music, looking at how folk and indigenous music and also Western art have all interacted and influenced each other across centuries, with phenomenal musicians like Louis Mhlanga, who played us in, Neo Muyanga, and a host of international maestros. To tell us more, I'm now joined by the festival coordinator, Alexandra Smith. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, and you.
Pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having me.
And my goodness, just that opening with Louis Mhlanga was absolutely amazing. So the thing about this festival is that even though it is a classical kind of music festival, I mean, of course, Mozart, there's a whole lot of other music. So tell us more.
So the headliner, Mozart, was a musician for the people. So although his music is considered classical these days, when it was written, it was often considered music for the people. It wasn't so highbrow as we consider classical music these days.
Interesting point.
So we try to keep it accessible to people.
Sure.
So we've got, amongst the classical music, we've got chamber music, we've got recitals from local singers and local performers, such as Magdalene Minna and Jose Diaz. But we've also got international stars, such as Stefan Reti on the flute, Antoine de Grolet on the piano.
Wow.
We've got Michael Collins from the UK on the clarinet. And we've got Joanna McGregor, who is a British pianist. These are pretty big names from overseas.
Exactly. And I mean, this year, is it basically bigger than it's been before? Because that's a lot of names.
Well, we try to keep it big every year.
Yeah.
So we also try to keep new music coming in. So we've got, for example, Louis and Paul Hanmer doing one of our sort of annual favorites, which is Cinema Improvisando. So they have a silent movie played at the Bioscope in Maboneng. And they improvise the soundtrack to the movie.
Fantastic.
This year is Snow White.
Okay.
And
okay, you mentioned Maboneng being one of the venues.
Yes, that's
and
right.
I understand there's many venues or different venues across where the festival will be taking place. So where do people go to find out more prices and all of that with regards to the festival?
So we have a website. The website is www.join-mozart-festival.org. We have social media, so we're on Facebook if you search Johannesburg International Mozart Festival.
Yes.
We're on Twitter. Our handle is @Join Mozart Festival.
All right.
And basically, if people follow these channels, they will be able to find all the information.
Okay, and do ticket prices differ? Or
ticket prices vary depending on the event. We've got some free events that people are welcome to join. We've got a bunch of concerts. All of the prices are different.
Fantastic. And of course, music is something that unifies, that brings people, families together across age and culture. And so definitely this festival, from what I'm hearing you say, it's not only about, the people who have played chamber music, who are serious, classical music fans. Everybody can basically attend.
Absolutely. We've got something for everyone. We've got slightly more classical concerts, but we've got family concerts as well, which will be for kids, grandparents, parents, the whole shebang.
Fantastic. It's the second year that you're a part of this.
That's correct.
Congratulations to you and the team. Fantastic initiative. And for people who, they will just have to go into the website to see the lineup. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you so very much, Alexandra.
Thank you, Refilwe.
It's been a pleasure. So, as a musical genius Mozart once said, if only the whole world could feel the power of harmony. Be sure not to miss the festival. Here's Bab Louis Mhlanga playing Is to Break.
Animation, virtual reality and games. We have all of that and other technology and social media news.
I've got the full version of the game at home, so I play it a lot at home.
We also tell you how Africans are using tech to improve their lives.
We have to close the digital gap.
So join us on Network for your African technology and social media news. That's Network with Ms. Phumelele Zondi every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central African Time.
Welcome back. You're still watching Trends. Now, we know him as the co-host of the Afternoon Drive on Metro FM. He's also a club DJ, entrepreneur, and we can also add philanthropist to his many titles. I'm, of course, talking about Mo Flava, who is on a quest to improve the lives of youngsters with a burning dream to better themselves despite their circumstances. Now, if you are keen on a career in radio, television, music production, graphic design, or other media studies-related degrees, now listen up, because here's a man that can give 10 of you watching today the ticket to your best lives and selves. Mo, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Ticket to best life. Wow, I'm just like a step somewhere in this long journey.
But I mean the launch pad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So great initiative for people who don't know. It's not even the first year that you've been doing this.
No.
So kudos to you.
Thank
and just
you.
Tell people who don't know what your bursary initiative is all about more.
Well, I mean, I studied media. I majored in radio and journalism at Boston Media House. So, you know, through the years of my time in the industry, I realized that a lot of young people want to get in and they keep asking me, how did you get in? What did you study? So because of that, I realized that perhaps there's a role that I can play in steering them in the right direction.
Sure.
And my starting point is always education, because it gives you options, you've got skills, and, you know, you can take yourself a step further.
Of course.
So then,
but places like Boston aren't exactly easy on the pocket.
Oh, no, not at all. I've had my fair share of experiences in that regard. You know, a middle-class family in South Africa. Education is not cheap at all.
Yeah.
So I've had my fair share of challenges, but I was able to finish and, you know, pay off whatever, you know, my parents owed and build myself.
Sure.
So the bursary is about giving young people an opportunity to study media, anything in media, as you pointed out. And you need the opportunity. You need to be in a position where you're out of options.
Yeah. Not just fans who are trying to get close to you.
Not just fans.
It's not about you.
I mean, it happens, you know, and I welcome it. But in the end, you know, it is about, you know, interacting with young people and trying to help them get in the places that they want to be.
Right. And what are the criteria? Because, of course, that's important. So for people who just want to know exactly what it is that you require, what's the criteria?
Well, I mean, you need to have passed matric. But then you also need to have a minimum diploma entry into any tertiary institution, and that is very clear on your matric results. And then, you know, if you have a degree entry, even better. But minimum diploma, you need to have good marks, because I need to get a sense that you are a hard worker.
Yeah.
But sometimes you might find that whatever you did in school didn't interest you, but you've got other interests and you've got other abilities.
Yeah.
And this is why I have interviews with candidates, you know.
All right.
Because I get to know you. I get to have a one-on-one. We talk about yourself. We talk about your ambitions, your goals, your background, your situation,
and
your
over the years, though, I mean, this must be interesting. Over the years, do you get, I mean, the people who really are just there to get to meet you, take selfies with you, but tata my chance.
It happens, but I appreciate that, because there's people who acknowledge what you do and they like what you do, and they'll follow you around, and that's okay.
But it's not about that.
No, it's not about that.
Is there any age restriction?
Well, I get a lot of that. And what I always say is, if you matriculated in 2014, 2015 and 2016, then you're eligible. Whether you finished matric at 15 is, you know, not my problem. As long as you matriculated in those years, we're all good to go.
Over the past 3 years. Okay, fantastic. And I mean, over the years, you've been at this for long. You know what I mean? And just what are some of, you know, the pitfalls that you advise, you know, people starting in this industry to watch out for that you have had to learn? Of course, you know, maybe going through it wasn't so pleasant, but of course now you have those pearls of wisdom to then offer to younger people.
I think always remind yourself why you do what you do. If it's for the love of what you do, if you're passionate about whatever the craft is, then that's your reason. If you want to be famous, then that's also your reason. But no matter what, remind yourself of why you're doing what you do, and always aim to give the best of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're on the radio, whether you're on the TV, whether you're writing an article or doing field work as a journalist, never ever, you know, give average work.
Sure.
Always try and aim for perfection.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's how employers remember you.
Of course.
And word gets around. And once words get around about you that you're good at what you do, you're never going to be out of a job. So if you can do that, you respect the industry, you respect the craft, and you work well with your employers, then we should be good.
Fantastic. So those dates for interviews, it's January 21st?
Yeah, January 21st and January 28th at Boston Media House, Pretoria and Sandton respectively. And we're starting nice and early, 9 in the morning.
Yep.
I'll be there the whole afternoon.
Sure.
And my experiences have been long days. Sad stories, weird situations, but I love it. I mean, I've been immersed in you know, South African youth culture for years, and this is my way of saying, well, I'm prepared to help where I can.
Fantastic. You know, like I said, kudos to people like yourself who don't only see it as I'm there, I'm up on a certain level and nobody else must come and take my place. So fantastic initiative. Thank you so very much, Mo.
Thank you.
And all the best to you.
Thank you. I actually encourage people to take my position all the time.
Nice one. Very, very different. Oh, well, thank you so very much to Mo Flavor there, who is talking about his bursary. Now, our next story, contemporary South African art and African art have a new home. The Melrose Art Gallery opened its doors to the public with an official launch planned for the first week of February. So Trendz visited this art space this week. Have a look.
Set in the stylish Melrose Arch urban precinct, this newly built art house is a collaboration between Justice Devers, a well-known entrepreneur, and Clint Strydom, an acclaimed South African photographer, and Craig Mark of Kizo Art Consultants. The art gallery provides a warm home and a contemporary platform for talented artists of Africa to meet, exchange ideas, network, exhibit, and for collectors to view and acquire quality artworks.
There's no gallery at Melrose Arch, so Melrose and ourselves started chatting, and we all felt that we needed to bring some creativity and arts into the precinct. A lot of people live, work, and play within Melrose Arch. So Boardman's moved out of here, and we managed to secure this space. And the idea is that we do regular exhibitions from here, and then we move the art into the public space as well to do sculptural exhibitions, performing arts, installations, that type of thing.
A range of art pieces are currently on display. Amongst them is the Robbie Springboks book, which according to Craig took 4 years to complete. The book holds the history of the Springboks from the first creation of the jersey. The gallery also features works of international acclaimed artists like Ndebele artist Gogo Esther Mahlangu, who recently had a collaboration with Pharrell Williams on his campaign.
In September we're planning a large sculptural group show, and that's a perfect opportunity to take sculpture from the gallery onto the public area. So there'll probably be about 20 or so sculptors that will be participating in that show. So it just really depends on what show we're running as to how many artists will be displaying at that point.
Other artists showcasing their work include Clint Strydom, Bongeni Buthelezi, Gavin Rain, Loyiso Mkhize, Heidi Hathaway, and many others. The prices of those artworks adorning the walls of this gallery range from 5,000 to 650,000. Even though the gallery is open to the public, it will officially launch on the first week of February.
And so, the days of wearing your baggy tracksuit pants and old t-shirts to the gym has come and gone. Please, ladies, I know it's mostly us to give the side eye to. Now, today, fashionable gym wear is yet another trend that many have taken to. So if you are looking for a dope outfit that'll motivate not just the fashionable you, but also your healthiest bodies, then this insert is just for you.
So the festive season's over and most of us want to get back into shape, but we also want to look cool doing it. So today we're talking active wear.
Roseanne Immerman is a young entrepreneur who broke into the fashion industry almost 11 years ago. Now she's pursuing a new kind of fashion, active wear. Merging street style with fitness trends, her line is much sought after.
I get my ideas from training and from what I want to see in fitness clothes. because like some things you can get at a certain price, but then everybody's got them. Some things look great, but when you put them on, they're not that comfortable, or the fabric isn't actually performance fabric, so you can't sweat properly in it. So I've basically taken it from first-hand experience with the colors that I want to see, combining different prints, coming up with cute outfits also, so that you can wear your stuff the whole day. For example, I'm dressed in my full push activewear right now, and I've got appointments today, I've got meetings, I've got to go fabric shopping, I've got to do a whole bunch of things. I'm only training tonight, but I'm wearing an outfit where I feel comfortable, I feel confident, and I'm excited and ready for the day. I don't have to be worrying about a pretty little dress. So it gives you something. That's basically what we call functional fashion.
This range is a passion project for Imerman, where her love for fashion and fitness come together. So what makes this range so unique?
So with push activewear, we've gone for very flattering cuts. So you'll see the tights have got a higher waistline, so that you can wear it with a crop. You don't have to, like be self-conscious with your stomach or your love handles. Everything is perfectly placed. So even like the panels that go across your bum give you a great shape, so that you get those booty goals that everybody wants, and it's just all about following the trends that are in streetwear and incorporating them into activewear. So even with the guys' vests, we've gone for longer cuts. They're longer at the back. They've got the low armholes. So the guys can do deadlifts and can be working in gym and training, wearing the stuff. However, the t-shirt isn't going to flip up. At the same time, it's still a streetwear trend with the lower back, the scoop, everything like that. So it's basically...
Aha, well, that caught me fanning myself. The studios get really, really hot. Guys, warn me next time. All right, we're going to an ad break. We're back after this.
Water-wise, water is an essential need. The scarcity of it could lead to loss of many lives, including livestock, plants, and much more. It requires us to use it sparingly and responsibly in times of need, failing which our taps and sanitation will not function. For more on water and weather issues, stay tuned to News Today, every Friday at 4:45 Central African Time. SABC News, making you water-wise.
You are watching Trends. Now, 2016 was undoubtedly a great year for musician Thandazile Khadebe and Amanda Black, to name but a few. Now, these artists made a name for themselves in the music industry, while seasoned stars like comedian Trevor Noah and Pearl Thusi flew the South African flag even higher for international screens for the first time. Now, as we look forward to seeing what these faces will bring to us in 2017, there is no doubt that many, many more will be giving it their all, be it in art, theatre, drama, television, and music. So joining me in studio now is to talk about the faces and voices to look for in 2017. I'm joined by esteemed editor and author, Mr. Leslie Mofokeng. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for your time. And as I said, we mentioned people like Pearl Thusi and Trevor Noah did amazing, amazing things in putting us on the map. But coming to 2017, who is first on your top of your head, you know what I mean, to say this person might be one to watch out for?
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned one of them, and that's Amanda Black.
Yeah.
I think she's great. She's had an amazing start towards the end of last year with her album and with her hit song, Amazulu. She's doing very, very well. People are talking about it. I think she's going to gain a lot more traction, and I think she will be up for some nominations, and she might surprise people.
Music Awards season is coming up.
Is coming up. Yeah, so she's the one to look out for, and I think that she has something different to offer. I mean, even her image, even her energy, even the...
Very true. When you say energy, she was here on Trendz as well, and very, very down to earth. I sincerely hope that doesn't change.
No.
You know, this beast that is the entertainment industry and music that, you know, but she is fantastic. Yeah, I definitely couldn't agree more with you there. Okay, and someone like Thandiswa Mazwai. Long awaited.
Yes.
People are like, wow.
Long awaited. She released an album late last year, which was really a remake of classics, South African classics. And the record company promised us that this year she will be releasing her original composition, her original music.
Amazing.
And that's something to look forward to. She is a force of nature, whether you like her or not. She is really a force of nature. She is exceedingly talented. She has a huge following. And it's a moment in time when she releases an album. The world waits for her new material. So when that happens this year, I'm sure she's going to shake a whole lot of charts and a whole lot of people with surprise. Because after such a long break from releasing music, I'm sure she's traveled a lot and she has been influenced by so many other things. Grown a lot. So it'll be amazing. It'll be interesting to see what she has cooked up in the studio.
Fantastic. A dancer that is doing amazing things on the international market, Thandazile.
Yes, Thandazile was a winner of the Standard Bank Young Artist for Dance. And she's been touring Europe, she's been touring the world, she's doing very well. She's from Soweto and she has proved that, you know, the world is your oyster, as they always say. I think she's the one to watch, especially in that field of dance, which sadly does not get as much attention as in other genres of the arts and entertainment.
Like your Gregory Makomas and those guys, but as you say correctly, you know, there isn't much attention that goes to dance.
So I hope that she will do a lot more in the world to attract enough attention. Just like I think Pretty Yende is doing in the international stage. I don't know if you saw that recently. She was on that the late night show in the States and met Oprah Winfrey and all of that. And just these little strides that she's making all over the world are bringing attention to opera music, that people can now start to take it seriously and know that there's a face and a name associated with it. So I think that artists like
face.
A black face, by the way, an amazing story that I think South Africans are still yet to be told properly. I don't think we celebrate our people enough who are doing well overseas, unless if you Trevor Noah or Peltusi.
Sure. Okay. And then there's a guy called Sia who's a jazz musician. Now,
it's actually a lady, Sia
Makuzeni. It's a lady. Apologies. Yes, Sia. Yes.
Sia Makuzeni is also a force in jazz. She's also a recipient of the Standard Bank Young Artist Award. And she plays the trombone. She's an instrumentalist. She's a lyricist. She does all of these things. So she's a multiple threat. She's not just a singer that gets up on stage and delivers some lines.
Sorry to cut you there, but the reason actually when I saw jazz artists and also what she's won for Standard Bank, the name that always comes to mind for me is always Nduduzo Makatini.
Yes.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
So underrated and very under the radar till today. So, you know, so I was thinking of him and I'm thinking, you know, but yeah.
But what's refreshing about her is that she's a woman. And it's not every day that you get to hear a woman doing so well. I mean, there are amazing women singers out there, amazing jazz artists that are female, but they are also not getting that much attention.
Why? What can we do to get them out there? Why don't you write about them more? What should we do?
We do write. We talk about them. We need to celebrate them more, but they also need to push. I think they also need to kind of sell themselves better and tell their stories even better. I mean, in these days of social media, you don't really need to rely on traditional media to get your name out there.
Very true.
You also have to push and do your own thing. Do your own thing, write your own story, tell your own story.
A group that has always been at the forefront of writing their own story all through the continent and internationally, Mafikizolo.
You know, Mafikizolo started off as three members, and one of them passed away.
That's right.
And they were already a big name in South Africa, and no one thought they could get even bigger. And then they came back with that album, with that song, Kona. And they took over the charts in Nigeria, they took over the dance floors all over West Africa.
But how they always managed to reinvent themselves.
Exactly
I think there's something about them. I mean, Theo and Tracee, it's amazing.
And now they've got a new song, a new single out, Kucheza. I think I'm saying it right. And it means come dance with me or dance.
Fantastic
and it's
video
Swahili
as well.
The video. The video is just amazing. So I think that this is their year. They are going to make the same thing that they did with Kona. I think even double, if not triple triple.
Yeah.
Because of the strategy they have in place. They're going to be touring the continent. They're going to be taking the music to the people. I think this is even their 20th year, if not 21st.
Absolutely
in the
amazing.
game. And their story is just amazing.
Yeah.
It's just something worth celebrating and making you feel proud to be a South African
Yeah.
and an African.
As they are too. Every time they go anywhere in the world, they always put, first that, hey, we are from South Africa and we're embracing our African roots because we are not, separated from the continent,
Absolutely. The
When it
DNA
comes
is
to-
there.
Of course. When it comes to television, actresses, film, television, a name like Makgotso stands out for me.
She plays Onika in Mubango.
Yeah.
And she's also on Isidingo.
She's
as
doing
I
a lot of
understand.
things at the same time.
She,
And we're
last
like,
night,
how did
interestingly, last night I saw her on Generations.
Are you serious? Oh, wow.
I think I saw her. I hope I was
But
not.
now,
I
is
was
that a
not dreaming.
problem or is that a good thing? Because now it means like there aren't other actresses who are out there.
What
I like what she's doing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about her.
What I like
Yes.
is that whole movement of open up the industry.
Right.
I think she's one of those fresh new faces. We are not yet tired of her. I don't think she has been typecast. I don't think she's monopolizing. I don't think she is keeping it all to herself. I think it's her time to shine.
Yeah.
There are those seasons. Every artist, I think, has a season.
Sure.
And they come and they go.
Yeah.
And I think this is her time. I think it'll get out of hand if maybe she gets to do a whole lot more and
I'm sure
defeats
she
the
will.
purpose of opening up the industry.
Yeah.
But I think she is the poster girl of opening up the industry. She's one of those that we celebrate and say, where has she been?
Right.
Because she's such a breath of fresh air, because
Yeah.
she looks great, and I think she's an amazing, amazing performer. And I hope to see a whole lot more of her, while not hogging the spotlight, I suppose. Yeah.
I definitely remember a time when, the likes of Pearl Tusi, she was modeling. She was on many different soapies as well. She was doing, film. And so, one of those stories. But, okay, so let's come to maybe film. Because we've spoken about, people on television and the SAFTAs are also coming up in a short while. Any names stick out for you there, guys or girls?
Interestingly, the name that comes to my mind is Teripeto. A traditional, to be expected kind of name. I don't really have a fresh, different name to think of. And my reason is because of what she's been doing and the other projects that she's been working on.
Yeah.
Not only as an actress, but also as a producer, as a director, dabbling on these other things and taking the world by storm, not just South Africa. So I think it's going to be a great year for Terry. I think she's going to be surprising us with other projects that she's been working on that are coming out later this year. Also, she's an amazing performer. I think she's a great talent and a national asset to come out of South Africa. We should be very proud of her. And I wish her all the best. And I think this is going to be her year yet again.
Sure. Don't mention things like national assets because then we might talk about other people. But in any case, Mr. Mofokeng, thank you so very much for your time.
My pleasure.
What's coming up for you in 2017?
I'll be releasing a book, a biography of a really famous South African, and that's all I'm gonna. That's all I'm gonna say.
Controversial or
controversial? In a matter of weeks. That's what I'm gonna leave it. But there's a big release coming out. My second book after I did the Kanyimbao book.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna be releasing yet another South African biography, and I think you'll be calling me.
Well, we'd love to be at the launch. We definitely will be waiting for the invite for that. And so congratulations to you. You've been very busy. And sincerely for all of us, may 2017 just be more and bigger and better in every single way.
Thank you. You're far too kind.
Thank you very much. That was Leslie Mofokeng talking about the faces and voices to look out for in 2017. And now it's been exactly 50 years since the passing of Can Temba, an acclaimed writer and teacher of his time. So in commemoration of his life, the Market Theatre down in Johannesburg is currently showcasing a theatre production called The House of Truth, written by author Siphiwe Mahala.
Now this is how I came to know story. It's also with very little formal education. Oh, he's a great.
A one-man theatre play depicting real-life events of acclaimed writer Can Temba. Set in a single bachelor flat in Sophia Town in the 1950s, The House of Truth reveals challenges that Temba went through when the Transvaal Department of Education refused to recognize him as a qualified teacher, although he had a degree. Directed by Vanessa Cook, this play first premiered last year at the National Arts Festival in Grahamstown.
Siphiwe Mahala, the writer, had written a play about Can Temba, and he showed it to Sello. And after reading it, Sello said, I think it would make a great one-man show. So Spiwo rewrote it, and that's how it started. I came to it through Sello. I've known him for a long time, and he thought that I would be the right person to direct him, coordinate the show really more than anything else. And it's difficult. It's been a very interesting process because a one-man show, it's very different from doing a play.
Played by versatile Silomake Kangcube, the character of Themba also reveals circumstances that inspired some of his most enthralling works, and it covers some profound aspects of his life that are rarely written about. Themba was a man who valued love, and he loved his wife dearly. Make Kangcube says it is an honor to portray the life of Themba, a man whose work he has admired growing up.
It is a combination of exhilaration and also deep, deep agony or pain, because on one hand you enjoy this live mind, who has his own way of looking at things and telling stories and he's a vivacious guy who likes to engage in talk. That's why he's opening his house, to be a space for intellectual engagement and debate. So he was a conversationalist, But as you go on with the story, you realize how the system of apartheid just gnawed at his innards, basically knocking wind out of his sails. And it's, he seemed like a person who just loved teaching, and they frustrated that side of him that he cherished most. And it is a frustration, but now combined with a master or a wordsmith, he's even good at capturing pain as much as he captures joy.
After the House of Truth, the Market Theatre will also bring in another series of works from Themba, including The Suit, which was converted into a film but adapted from a novel. House of Truth will run until the 29th of this month.
Police like fleas and our blankets are always with us.
So we're off to an ad break. Please do join us again after this and talk with us. We're at Trendz on SABC on Twitter.
I don't know if I'm going to succeed, but I want you to tell us, who are these 3 people that you have opened corruption charges against at the Brooklyn police station? How senior are they?
Very.
Are these people who are serving in the political office of the executive mayor?
Yes.
Which means they are no longer working for the city now.
Well, I can tell you that one of them is actually finding themselves employed in another municipality.
You are not going to tell us the names?
No, you're not going to get names for me.
Are people still getting free Wi-Fi in Tshwane?
People are still getting free Wi-Fi, and we will actually make it one of the basic services that our residents will get.
What causes Parkinson's? How common is it?
Your research showed that it's slightly more prevalent in men.
Yeah.
It's equally affected at women as well.
Yeah.
And all races can be affected with Parkinson's. There is no such thing as one race is more prevalent than the other.
Parkinson's disease is the disorder of degeneration of the neurons. Therefore,
exposes one to have those unwanted movements of the body.
I live a normal life. I wake up in the morning, I do some exercises here and there.
It's just a movement disorder. It's going to affect how he lives his life. And I think as a family, it's just helped us get a little bit closer and surround him.
Catch Health Talk every Saturday from 9 to 10 with Dr. Silo Mutawo.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into Trendz. Now, a privileged and select group of 1,000 people from all over the world have already received invitations to the premiere of a film called 100 Years, a movie you'll never see. Now, this amazing piece of work is set to be released, get this, on the 18th of November in the year 2115. So the film is written by and starring actor John Malkovich, directed by Robert Rodriguez, and will be kept in a high-tech safe until its release date, as I said, on the 18th of November in the year 2115. That's 98 years, 10 months, and a few days from today. Amazing.
In 2015, I, John Malkovich, shot a film which will be held for 100 years. The time required to create Louis XIII.
Only a few people alive today watching this trailer will live to see 100 years. The movie you will never see. Those with invites now are allowed to hand them down to their descendants. Malkovich and Rodriguez announced last year that they had teamed up with the world-renowned cognac brand to create a film inspired by the 100 years it takes to make a bottle of famous cognac. The duo then released 3 teaser trailers showing no footage for the film. Instead, they imagined 3 different possible futures from a dystopia to a technological paradise. Until its release, the film will be kept in a high-tech safe in a bulletproof glass that will only open automatically on 18 November 2115. The film's plot remains a complete secret. Are you one of those 1,000 guests invited to the film premiere?
Absolutely amazing, that movie, my gosh. Anyway, so South Africa's newest and freshest rappers who made their way in the music scenes entered the rap game last year on the hip-hop talent show The Hustle, are wasting no time in proving that they're in it to win it. Now, I have seated with me here runner-up Shane Eagle, who has done so much in such a short space of time. He also, is working with Big Star Johnson, who was also here last year, and they have a new track called Top Floor. Now, Shane?
Yeah.
Welcome to Trendz once again in the new year.
Me.
I just had, an amazing writer who's been in entertainment circles for so long, Mr. Leslie Mufokeng, talking about, the new faces and voices to watch out for.
Yeah.
We didn't go much into hip-hop. I'm not sure if that's his thing or not, but I'm glad you are here, and I definitely think you will be one of those. You are like not just a one-dimensional threat, So welcome to Trendz, and tell us what's in store for 2017.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I feel welcome. This is one of those classy sets, I'm used to all the hip-hop and trap sets, but I feel good being here. It's been a crazy experience and a crazy year for me, especially with the whole rise of the new school in hip-hop. And I feel like this generation is going to take over everything. People are so surprised when they find out how old I am.
And you are how old? I'm going to ask too. Okay. I thought it was only us ladies who don't like revealing our age.
I just keep it there for like ambiance, they find out.
Sure.
And it's just been, it's an amazing thing to see the youngest people do the most in the shortest spaces of time,
That's the thing, you guys are hungry.
Yeah.
You guys are determined, you're passionate. Yeah. Where is this all fueled from?
I think I've always wanted to do this, and I think the easiest thing I say to a lot of people is to be able to do something is easy. It's easy to do it when you know what you want to do, because a lot of people find themselves in a space where they don't know what they want to do in life, and then it becomes a whole drag. So if you know exactly what you want to do, you can focus on that and execute, and it makes everything else easier. So I think that's been the most important thing for me, is learning exactly where I want to be, learning how to pace myself and learning that consistency is key and consistency is everything for me.
Okay.
And that's been the best, like, driver.
So at your age, where are you learning all these life lessons that it takes some people very long to learn from?
True. I say what's happening in my case, I feel like a lot of things that have happened in my life have forced me in a sense to think a little bit ahead or grow up a little bit more, you know. Things growing up weren't too easy, they weren't too bad, but I mean, a lot of problems in your life allow you to, you know, overcome or think about things differently, and I think that's been a blessing and a curse at the same time, but more of a blessing because it's made me the person I am today.
Fantastic. Let's talk about, I mean, your formative years. Where did you grow up? Let's talk about your family. I mean, was mom's always supportive of you coming into this crazy industry?
My mom has always been supportive. She's one of those types of people who support me regardless. I could have been a tap dancer and she would have supported me, so she's always been the supportive one. It's been my dad who really wasn't the one behind the music career in the beginning, and so he saw, you know, a lot of traction, and he was like, okay, now I get it.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't know, my mom's South African, she's from here, and my dad's European, he's from Ireland.
Sure.
So now it's the whole culture, the whole diversity in the culture. So she kind of gets it, you know. She knows rhythm. She's from here. She understands it. And my dad's, it's more foreign to him. So it took him a little bit longer to open up to that idea.
But that's an interesting mix, though. I mean, having, you know, the whole Irish appeal. You could go to Ireland and be like the next biggest thing.
I was telling everybody, I was flexing with everybody. I said I have European citizenship, so if anything goes down, I might be on the first jet up.
Okay, awesome. And I mean, just the experience of the hustle.
Yeah.
Did it even take you long to say, you know what, I actually think I want to be on that show? Was it, you know, did you hear about it through friends?
With the hustle, that was actually the craziest thing because I didn't have TV at the time because I was all about, you know, just Wi-Fi and having a direct connect to the rest of the world. And I feel like that's Wi-Fi, and that'll eventually take over the world as soon as South Africa decides to drop the data prices. I had one of my best friends call me up, and he saw that, and I think he saw the advert for the hustle, and he called me up. He was like, yo, bro, I saw this competition, you know, it's just some rap show. I don't know what it is, but I know you have nothing to lose because I know how well you do if you just gave it a shot. I was like, bro, I don't know. You know, I don't know if I want to do that. Apparently, he told me I had to send in a 15-second video. In the beginning, I was a bit skeptical because I was like, what if I send in the video, people see me sending in the video, then I don't get onto the show. And it's like, look like I'm trying so hard. You know, and then I was like, you know what, let me just give it a shot. I sent in the 15-second video, and then I didn't hear anything from Vuzo. So I was like, dang. I was like, okay, whatever. And then a week later, I was chilling with one of my in-house producers, Shooter Coombs, and my phone went off, and he was like, yo, bro, you just got a message from the TV show. I was like, bro, don't be playing with me. You know how guys are. He's like, no, for real. So I was like, I don't want to look like I was too excited and like trying to look at the phone, but he's like, no, look. So I looked, and I got so emotional because I saw they actually hit me back, and they were like, you've been shortlisted and you're one of the final.
Fast forward to, you know, the whole competition, grueling and everything, working with the likes of DJ Speedster. I mean, that track till now, Mayo is still, you know, very, very big on charts.
That was, I mean, that's the craziest experience, to go from a competition to fast forwarding time to having a #1 song in South Africa is mind-blowing.
Amazing.
Do you know what I mean? That's like, it's even, sometimes it's difficult to process because you travel the whole of South Africa and they sing that song, sing the verse, they sing everything word for word, and sometimes it's a lot to process, but at the same time you're like, this is exactly why I do this, and this is exactly why I'd like to do this for the rest of my life.
Fantastic. We look forward to seeing you at the Music Awards and everything.
Definitely.
All the best for 2017.
Thank you.
And thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
You know, and congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, it's the end of Trends, so please do, excuse me, join me again next week for more on the SABC News channel. Cheers.